Time. Hey, it is Wednesday. What is cracking? Uh, I'm going to start out the show because I had somebody instant message me saying that they had put in a comment and it never showed up.
Oh
And
shit.
I replied back to them. They're like, "Hey man, why do you have me blocked on your channel?" I'm like, "I don't. I have three people blocked on my channel, and they're all porn people. They were the porn spammers. Those are the only ones that have, you know, in my community on there. They're blocked." And
Hmm.
I'm like, "So nobody's blocked on my channel." I said, "Whatever you said, YouTube didn't like it, and they flagged it themselves."
And they do that.
And I explained to this person that um,
Hey dad.
my
Hey Tom.
my entire channel got demonetized 2 weeks ago. Mr. Brown, Mr. Thompson, what's cracking?
I thought you told me that before, but is that something new that we just learned?
Yep, I haven't said anything about it because I have fought YouTube and I've got it reinstated, but this stems all the way back from the original community guideline warning that they gave me because I basically gave them the finger and I didn't do their training or any of their BS and I just let that warning sit there. Whatever. So evidently, if you let it sit there long enough, I guess their system just automatically goes, "Well, I guess you don't care about your YouTube channel that much," and flips the switch. What's happening, Robert?
Robert.
So yeah, I kind of had to I kind of had to deal with that crapola, but I also
Now,
mentioned to this person that I'm I'm more or less done on YouTube. I'm not
yeah.
making any videos anymore. Um, I had a huge email back and forth with Artlist.io. NorCal, what's
What's up,
cracking?
NorCal?
Um, Anybody that's ever considered paying for any of those music licensing deals, don't waste your money. First of all, there isn't any top music that's in there anyhow.
Wait, I want to get back to this though. So we had a viewer who dropped a comment whose comment didn't show up. They got a hold of you. What were they saying? What was it about, you know?
They didn't remember exactly what they had put in the comment, but the first comment was basically like a, "Hey, how you doing?"
Huh.
And I went back and looked, and I'm like, "Yep, nothing. There's nothing from you in the chat at all. Never showed up. No clue what the hell happened there." And I even took a screenshot of my community, and I sent the instant message like, "Dude, I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know what the hell is going on with YouTube."
YouTube
Uh,
sucks.
and quite frankly, yeah, YouTube can eat a dick at this point. The entire platform is basically focused on the same thing that all big corporations are focused on. Screw the people. We don't give a shit about you. All we care about is you make us money. If you aren't making us money, then screw you. And don't say, don't hint, don't insinuate, don't do anything that we don't like, or we'll just kick you off our platform. And yeah,
That
it's.
reminds me of a RC group I was in one time.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, back to the Artlist.io thing. So you pay a $15 a month subscription to download their music, and it's licensed. So you can put it in your videos, and YouTube won't give you a
Right.
copyright strike.
Yeah. I've heard about that. You buy
So
music.
that
You basically
only
buy the rights to the music so you can have it in your video.
it only lasts as long as your subscription. Once you stop paying your subscription to Artlist.io, they no longer
Then they take back their rights.
validate they no longer validate the music that you used in your videos, which means that all of the music that I made used from them in my videos. Now that I've been, screw you, I'm not paying you $15 a month anymore. All those videos, I'm basically going to have to demonetize them or delete them altogether. And yeah, what an absolute ripoff. The whole point is once you start, you can never stop. You're paying $15 a month to them for the rest of your life.
And that's what they
And
want.
then it's got to carry on because, let's say you die, your YouTube channel is still going. I'll use Steve OD. His YouTube channel is still going. Now, if he had an Artlist subscription and his mom and sister didn't want to pay for that anymore, if he'd used any music in there anymore, YouTube would be giving him copyright strikes left and right, and they'd be yanking all of his videos down.
Well, I don't, I use copyrighted music, but I don't try to make money off of it.
But yeah, I even said my time on YouTube, I'm exploring other platforms. I want to move the show to another platform because I think we will probably get most of our regular viewers will show up and watch over there anyhow.
I'm just tired of being censored so bad. I don't understand. Like I said, we're not blocking. I know we got a couple people that we've not allowed. I know there's a few, but in that respect, the people that want to be here and show up here and comment here, we always, even when a comment gets blocked, we try to put it up so people can still see it. So it's not like we're.
And I even said that if somebody mentions that, hey, my comment didn't pop up in the chat,
we try to celebrate that shit here.
Yeah, I'll see it in StreamYard and I'll throw it up on the screen just to throw it in YouTube's face.
Yeah.
But yeah, YouTube.
Oh, some first world problems? Well, yeah, I mean, you're right. I'm glad I don't live in a pile of trash. I'll give you that.
Oh, man. How about the district attorney of Sacramento suing the state of California because of the homeless problem in Sacramento? The homeless problem in Sacramento has evidently surpassed the homeless problem of San Francisco.
Wow.
So I did not think that was even possible, but evidently it is. And personally, I don't see why anybody would want to go to Sacramento.
I'm white and middle-aged. Of course I'm going to complain about first world problems.
Yeah. But so good news is you can probably see I got my Promoto finally.
We're going to talk some shit on Horizon and Promoto.
Oh, my Lord. So June 29th was when I placed my original pre-order. I was a day late in my original pre-order, which I ended up canceling in early August because I called my local hobby town and they said, oh, yeah, we're expecting 5 of those this week. And I said, well, shit, damn howdy. Sign me up. Here's my credit card.
Weeks and
weeks go by, and I'm calling Hobbytown every week. Hey guys, when I paid for this thing, you guys told me it was going to be there that week, and that was like a month ago. Yeah, man, we're really sorry about that. We're getting screwed just like you are. Okay, I kind of give them the benefit of the doubt because we know it's Horizon. So, yep, last week, call me up. Hey man, good news.
Whoa.
I'm like, oh man, freaking sweet.
Was Kevin the first name that came to your mind, or are you trying to make a bash at somebody I know in the RC world? That's hilarious. I don't know what to think of that. You guys are funny. I haven't heard anything from Kevin Gibbs. I see him around.
I have not either. I think anybody that is.
I think it got tough for him too, because just like me.
I think that I think Kevin is dealing with physical problems and.
Say what? No, NorCal's trying to get me here.
Trying to get JB to say what?
What?
What do you call a male Karen, NorCal?
What?
Let us have it.
Give me the punchline. Oh, well, so wait a minute. So I'm clear with you on this. You ordered your Losi Promoto pre-order. Then you canceled your pre-order.
Yeah,
because you ordered from a hobby shop. and
Yeah.
that hobby shop still sent it a month later.
Well, so the reason why I canceled directly from Losi was I, whatever you want me to call you, bro.
Oh, oh.
1,000 points in NorCal for making a joke at JB's expense.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah, now that's a Wednesday right there. Yeah, originally I finally got the customer service at Losi to finally admit that they had a schedule of shipments and they knew roughly when orders were going to get filled.
Okay.
And I said, okay, I ordered at like 5 a.m. Eastern time on the 29th. And the guy was like, yeah, October. You'll get yours in October. And I was like, what? October? You're out of your damn mind. How come I see them getting shipped out to hobby shops all over the place? Well, because that's what happens. So, yeah, so I ended up canceling because I just assumed that I was going to be able to find one in a hobby shop sooner.
Right.
And it just so happened the first place that I called was like, yeah, we're expecting 5 of them in this week. And only 2 of them have actually been sold. Like, oh, right on. I went from not getting it till October to getting it this week. Freaking sweet. Yeah, but that didn't happen. But it eventually did happen. And, I drove the almost 2 hours one way to get to the hobby shop. Picked it up, drove the 2 hours back home. 2.5 because I did stop at Buc-ee's on the way home to grab myself some beaver nuggets. Because if you drive by a Buc-ee's, you should just stop there. You should. And you should buy beaver nuggets while you're there because they're freaking delicious.
So I tried to
kill
keep.
you.
Yeah,
They will absolutely kill you if you eat a
yeah.
bag
Oh,
in one
it's
sitting.
it's corn puffs and corn syrup with corn and corn on corn.
It's sugar,
Yeah.
and then they mix in a little bit of corn flour or starch or whatever, and they put some more sugar in it. Then they put like some sugary flavoring in it, and then a little bit more corn starch.
My orders from Amazon and eBay take weeks to get here. Don't you live like in the middle? I mean, you're like, where are you? You're like in Alaska or something?
No, I believe northern Alaska at that.
I mean, you're like in one of the most remote regions I could think of.
I'm assuming that everything that gets delivered to Robert comes via like one of those
helicopters or something.
Like
he's got a bush plane that flies in.
Helicopters or one of those like bush jumper planes with the skids on it.
Yeah.
So they can only bring like as much stuff that will like fit in the back seat. And that's it.
I would like to thank myself for thanking Horizon. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Well, so I took this thing out the next day. I charged up batteries first thing in the morning. I didn't do anything to it. I just charged up batteries, threw battery into it, and I took it out in the back and I ran it around and I crashed it a bunch of times because it does take a little bit to understand and figure out how it stands itself back up when it leans over on the training wheels. I ordered the
this isn't good.
So it was on back order and it says once a month later they tried to charge my card and it declined it.
Did you actually get it? They shipped it to you though, even though you didn't. They shipped it out to me and I haven't heard from them since. That's pretty crazy. Well, I mean, if you got an RC for free, I wouldn't be complaining.
So I have a similar story. I have over there in that little blue box right there, I have 2 jerseys, 2 replacement jerseys.
Okay.
That I ordered the same day I ordered the bike. I ordered
for the guy on the bike, yeah. Okay.
I ordered spare tire, spare front, the spare rear tire in the jerseys, and then I ordered the foot pegs and the triple clamps. So jerseys showed up one at a time. I got no notification, got nothing. I just all of a sudden, I had a little envelope in the mail, and I opened it up, and it was a jersey. I was like, oh well, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Weeks go by. I got no charges, no nothing. I was like, okay, what the hell's going on here? About 2 weeks later, second jersey shows up. Hey, great. Okay, again, no notification, no telling me nothing. I go onto the website to look at my order, and all of a sudden, the order now shows tracking numbers. Now, mind you, I'm looking at that order page like every couple of days. So it's not like I wasn't paying attention or anything. So after they had arrived, the tracking number showed up on the website, and then they charged my card for one of the jerseys,
Okay.
not the second one. So it's kind of like, well, that's silly. You guys completed the order, and you only charged me for half the order.
Right.
So then, again, randomly, like 3 days later, after the second jersey shows up, the foot pegs show up. And on the same day that the foot pegs show up, I get the charge on my card for the foot pegs and the second jersey. And I was like, what the hell is going on over there, you freaking knuckleheads? Then the
Gap
triple
reviews. Gap, get
Hey,
out
what's
of
up,
here.
Gap?
Promoto RC of the year. The only reason the Promoto is the RC of the year is because it's the most innovative RC we've had in a long time.
And
I shouldn't even say that.
say,
It's not like we haven't had bike RCs before.
but I got
Mr. Entertainment Clifton, thanks for showing up.
Man, oh man, we got a Tony Clifton here.
Talking about
I
this
gotta
Jack
say,
Ox motorcycle.
ultimately, it lives up to the hype. By the second
I'm
battery,
not saying it's not cool. I'm sorry. Don't get me wrong.
It is cool.
It is cool.
But it is not going to be for everyone. I can say that. I can see why there's a bunch of people that bought it, ran it 2 or 3 times, and was like, nah, this is freaking stupid. And then went on eBay and sold it.
Well, especially people who, I feel like you said, people who've never rode a motorcycle or never been around a motorcycle don't understand the physics of a motorcycle, I guess. You go out there and you try to drive it just like you did an RC car, and it's not the same. It's not the same. So
yeah, it's weird. You can't, you can't just lay on the throttle and turn the wheel and it turns.
Yeah, the bad part
it'll literally damn near just keep going straight. You have to slow it down. You're best off just slamming on the brakes and letting the back tire skid, and then stabbing the throttle to get it to come out, which is basically how I've been
riding a bike.
I get it to turn on a dime. Unfortunately, I was telling JB before the show, the big problem is, I got this Proline whole shot tire, and I ran this tire one time, one battery through this tire, and I have burned off half the pins in one run mostly on concrete. Now I know that it's meant to be on dirt, but I'm not. I found a website, or I found on Amazon that somebody had 4 of these tires in stock, and I bought all 4 of them. Because I figure I am going to, because I already ate through like 50% of the stock tire, which is infinitely more hard than the whole shot. In the dirt, this whole shot's going to be amazing. That thing's going to grip like freaking crazy. On the pavement, it also grips like crazy, but that's because it's just burning the rubber off of it. But I did buy one of their Supermoto tires, and I don't know why. The dumbest, whoever's idea it was at Proline and Losi to make the Supermoto tire smaller in diameter and a smaller diameter wheel, idiots. You just idiots. I put that thing on my bike. I ran it for like 2 minutes. I yanked everything back off. I unglued the freaking wheel, and I took it back to the store. I was like, this is the dumbest thing ever. This is the dumbest thing ever. Everything rubs. When the bike leans over, everything rubs on the side of the bike with the Supermoto tire.
Huh.
So I ground off a bunch of his boot, the chain guard. It rubbed on the freaking.
I see the chain guard always, yeah.
on the swing arm, and I was
Jeff
like,
wants to join us, but unfortunately, we have tried something like that before, sir, and it doesn't quite work out.
yeah, unfortunately, Gap, we do not have guests in the show because, like JB said, we did that, and it was an
It was
unmitigated disaster.
disaster. Yeah, yeah. Um,
But hey, man,
maybe someday.
thank you
No,
very
I'm
much.
thinking if we're like gonna end the, if we're actually gonna end YouTube and maybe move to diff, maybe we will have a bunch of people.
I will guarantee this: if I can get everything worked out, because my goal is to move the show over to Rumble. And all I'm dealing with right now is trying to find all of the software wizardry in order to be able to stream to Rumble without it being a gigantic pain in the ass. StreamYard and Zoom and all of that, they make it super easy for free to go to YouTube, to go to Facebook, but nobody does Rumble right now. And
Oh,
it's because they just,
and thank you for that invite. You know, man, that's the other. I'm such an asshole, dude. This is kind of my spot. I don't want to. I try not to. You know, I never like even in my videos and stuff. You know, all my videos, I've never given my opinion about anything. I've never done any reviews on anything or anything like that. And the reason for all that is because I just figured that people wouldn't like what I had to say.
and honestly, that's the whole point of this show. Is most of the stuff that we have to say here is generally the stuff that nobody else says.
Yeah,
And it's because, hey, if you want to spike your channel and you want to drive off all your viewers, say shit like this.
yeah. Have
So we
JB on
started,
your show.
um,
That's a good way to do it.
but you know, my whole problem with RC shows and live shows and everything is everybody handcuffs themselves to we're only going to talk about RC. We're not going to talk about anything controversial. We're not going to talk about politics. We're just going to talk about RC, and it gets boring. It gets as a consumer
Well, I don't know. You know,
boring.
I've seen Sean and I've seen Frank go off. I know there's a couple channels, even even Tony, CC, and Pablo sometimes get a little loose with what they're talking about. But you know, most of that stuff is RC and RC related. I don't. Yeah, I know that if you're a part of Frank's show and you're watching Frank's stuff, he sends you an email all the time, and in that email, I mean, he goes on like, you can't say this, you can't say that, you got to talk about this, blah blah
And
blah. I'm
this
like, dude, we didn't,
show,
you know, I don't know if he knows this or not, but we didn't even get that shit in Operation 11 Charlie. You're pushing a little fucking hard there, bro.
this
But
show is the anti of that. There is no censoring here. You can talk about whatever you want.
I'm supposed
You
to
can.
shut my mouth right now.
They just isn't. There aren't. There really aren't any RC shows out there that um, that will go off topic. And this whole show is off topic. I mean, I do a whole thing where I write down like notes of stuff that I want to talk about, and half the time I don't even get to half the stuff on there because we just
Yeah, you're an RC channel, but this is more of a adult talk show.
yeah. I think the best description was um, it's a show of basically a bunch of guys hanging out in the garage talking about shit that guys talk
Talk
about
about.
when they're in the garage. Just random shit, whatever you
Got
talk with.
something you want to say? Yep, bring it up. Let's talk
Yeah,
about it.
you're hanging out with your buddies, and somebody's like, "Oh man, did you hear about butt plug LLC 501c3 organization? Did you hear?" We're not afraid to talk about butt plugs here. And I'm not referring to Sean.
I wasn't even gonna bring Sean up today.
You know what? We didn't hear from Sean last week.
I'm so sick of looking at this box of Lucky Charms.
Yeah, anyhow, I think for people who like motorcycles, you will like the Losi Promoto MX. It's fun. It's very technical. I give a ton of applause to the engineers over at Losi. They did an amazing job This thing is hands down the the most thoroughly designed RC motorcycle that's ever been in existence.
I'm not entirely sure what you're talking about there, NorCal, about
Does it have its
commit RC death by control program, but whatever it is, I want it on my tombstone. So he died by RC right here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said at the very beginning of the show, um, YouTube demonetized my channel a couple weeks ago, um, because of a guideline strike that happened months ago.
I don't know. Is it just me, or is it like the whole social media aspect right now just kind of funktacular? Because even I was on, like, and I hate to say it because I'm gonna say with Facebook. I mean, Facebook is one of those places too that is just like complete trash. It's just trash. Because
Yeah,
I mean,
I,
somebody was saying, even talking about being a team driver now on Facebook will get you into trouble.
yeah.
Be careful there, old man. I know it.
Um,
You're gonna go do something dangerous. I just know it. My dad's crazy, you guys.
um,
What, I don't know. He's like what, almost 70 something years old, and he's out there fucking changing motors, and he's like working on track. He does all kinds of crazy shit, you guys.
yeah. My my grandfather, before he passed away at the tender age of 96, um, he retired when he was 75. So he was in the Navy. He retired from the Navy when he was, I think, 50, because back in those days you could do that. After he retired from the Navy, he stayed retired for like 6 months. And then he got a job working at a bank, sorting coins out in the vault.
Boy, that's an ambitious job.
So he did that for a few years. Um, and partly because it was just a part-time job, and it just gave him something to do, because he would go work at the bank, and they lived on a golf course in Florida, which is, that's what old people in Florida do. You live on a golf course. So he'd go work at the bank, and then he'd go play golf, and then he'd go home. That was his daily routine. He did that all the way until he was like 92 years old.
I was
He
wrong.
did
Please
half of
continue
the
about
day,
the
he
motor.
just was running around doing odd jobs and whatnot. But the man just kept playing golf. He was always doing stuff around the house. Uh, it, and he, right, the last time I spoke to him, he said, I can't stop.
Oh, this chat is why I come. You guys are the
When
best.
I
I'm going to give 1,000 points to Tony, Mr. Entertainment.
think I'm telling you about something else besides fucking motorbike.
Then he's,
Apple don't fall far from the tree. I was wrong. Please continue about the motorcycle. Man, Mr. Clifton, because he
he's been, I've seen him all over too, and he has been poking fun at them fucking paint thinning. Oh my God. Dude, the RC world lately to me has been so dry. So dry. And I've been watching other people's channels and shows, and I mean, I get the main one. The main one I want to comment on is everybody patting themselves on the back so hard their fucking arms are breaking. Virginia.
oh, I tell you what, NorCal, if I could get, if the real Tony Clifton ever became available, I would absolutely have him on the show. Absolutely. It, but yeah, I agree. I mean, I have watched so many crawling videos over the years. And I mean, I'm still subscribed to like well over 1,000
Yeah, I
channels,
think I'm in the 900 range.
and almost all of them are RC channels.
Yeah,
My I have to go in to the incognito tab and click on YouTube so I can watch like normal videos, because my normal YouTube homepage
it's just
is
like,
like 95% RC videos all the time. RC videos and sprint car racing. That's what I get.
I got like
But
music videos, RC videos and Starfield cheats, I think, or
Starfield cheats are coming up a lot on mine now, because yeah, for all the gamer folks out there, it just chime in on your Starfield experience, because JB shocked me before the show.
we won't.
JB's like, I'm already at a level 100. For what?
96.
96. Dude, I'm at 59. And I have 5 days.
Now we're going to lose all our
hours, because I just did an autosave. 5 days, 14 hours, and 17 minutes of game time played.
I think I got you beat, because I think I'm like in 8 hours or something. Anyways.
So, yeah, Starfield is freaking awesome. It's so much fun, and it's so immersive. And it's they got down to every nitty gritty little stupid detail in that game. The only complaint I have is it fucking crashes like every 45 minutes. I have to restart that game at least every 45 minutes.
It's one of those ones.
And you always end up losing like 5 minutes. And the worst ones are like, you went to like a starport somewhere, you landed, and when you got off the ship, like I got in the habit of, instead of just exiting the ship, I get up out of the captain's chair and I'll like go over to the cargo hold and gather up a bunch of crap that I'm going to go take and sell. And that's when it crashes. It's after I've gone through, because it takes you like 5 minutes to scroll through all the cargo.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to take this, I'm going to take this, I'm going to take this. And it always crashes right then. And then it starts you up back when you're still sitting in the pilot seat. God damn it.
I like this. I have to be straight here. I watch 95% RC videos, all NorCal RC videos. I mean, how many? I mean, I don't know. You know, how many? If you content creators actually go back and watch your own video, I watch my own videos. I actually make my videos for myself. They're not necessarily. I cut my videos the way that I want them to be, and then I like watching them. Yeah, I'll go back and watch them weeks later. Y'all down for watchers? Yeah, we talk about Starfield and instantly nobody wants to talk about Starfield here.
That happened last week too. Like, oh, video game dorks, come on.
Yeah.
Apparently, you know what? Variety is the spice of life.
Yeah.
If all you ever do is the same thing over and over again, life.
Hey, JM.
Life gets boring.
I'll be damned. I can't believe some of you people even come. I'm surprised JM comes back here after all the shit we talk sometimes.
JM, what's happening? I don't think we talk shit about JM, though.
No, we don't talk. Well, he's a pretty quiet guy most of the time. I've watched him in chats and stuff like that. He's got some smart things to say when he knows what's up, and he stays pretty quiet.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this show is about. It's just random. We talk about random shit.
The view numbers, and that's something that I've noticed. Like, if you actually go and you watch your video like 100-something times to try to boost your view numbers, eventually what'll happen is YouTube will come in and audit that, and they'll take away all those views anyways.
Yeah.
By the way, NorCal, if you're driving up the views on my channel, you don't have to. It's okay.
So
I don't know who. I put out a video every once in a while. The next thing I know, the views are just like gone crazy. I'm like, I don't. Who watched?
So I found the workaround for boosting your own views. So obviously, it's the incognito, and you open up the incognito window. You go to the YouTube. You find a playlist that has at least 10 or 15 views on your channel, and just click play the playlist, and don't do a rerun or anything. Just click run the playlist, and then just put that window in the background while you're doing whatever, or even get up from your computer and just walk away. And I've actually done it where I'll have 2 windows up, and I'll just pick 2 different playlists, and you can go through and pad your numbers. It's just 1 view at a time per video, but like me, I sit here all day, so I can just I can have a window running in the background all day long, so I can get 100 views a day added.
You losers, this. I love
But
this guy.
the God's honest truth is there's a much easier way to do it. You just go pay $5 to one of these bot guys, and they'll bot your channel. So for like $5, they'll give you 5,000 views.
Well, I mean,
You know?
if you ask some people, I used Operation 11 Charlie to promote myself and be in the position that I'm in. So yeah, that's
Which is how does that even work out? Because
with my 5 watchers over here,
yeah,
I've promoted myself so high.
yeah. Operation Live Charlie did so much for promoting me that I got 5 people watching the live show right now. Man. And my views for my videos have dropped by 70%. But yeah, all you have to do if you want more views, you want more subscribers, you go out and just pay $100 to one of these bot sites, and they'll do it for you. They'll just go bot spam your account with subscribers, and there's nothing YouTube can do about it. And yeah, you'll get your extra views out of it. You get a bunch of randomly set up bogus YouTube accounts, but
Oh, and then he pulls out the Kevin Talbert. You need to cut your hair, son. I can sell you this course on eBay. I can sell you my eBay course. Do you have a warehouse nearby?
It's everybody. It's everybody on YouTube that's been around YouTube for a
I'm
long
sorry.
time.
I'm just one of those people. I'm not here to make money, and that's always been my thing. YouTube has never been for me about making money. So
YouTube is very difficult to make money, and that's why every single established YouTube channel right now has started up memberships. They've all started up doing their own sponsorship deals. So they're advertising products in their own videos because, look, man, if your videos get 100,000 views, it's like $40. So if you're cranking out 4 or 5 videos a day that gets 100,000 views or 1,000,000 views, you're constantly working your ass off in order to get peanuts out of YouTube, literally peanuts. When you look at the ad revenue that YouTube generates,
I think that's why everybody moved to TikTok in the fair. I mean, isn't TikTok the biggest thing right now? Basically,
yeah. Well, TikTok and video gamers are all on Switch or Twitch because Twitch pays, but Instagram is rolling into it now with influencers over there getting paid a bunch of money. Twitter is starting to monetize stuff, or X is starting to monetize stuff. But
wow.
I mean, a lot of these guys that you see that have been around on YouTube for a long time that have millions of subscribers, behind the scenes, they're all saying the same thing, that YouTube is just freaking hosing us left and right. Back in the day when we were able to make $3 or $4 million a year off of our YouTube channel, now we're lucky if we make 200,000 or 300,000 a year. And when you talk about, YouTube channels that have full-blown production studios and staff,
oh yeah,
and you're bringing in $3 or $4 million a year, you're paying for staff, you're paying for
you're still investing.
When all of a sudden,
Robert here, I just have fun on here, and I'm like, yeah man, that's what. I've always used this. It's more of a canvas for me to paint with. It's, I don't know. And try to make money out. After the adpocalypse, I didn't see any money personally in YouTube.
I started YouTube after the adpocalypse.
Yeah, and so did I.
And but it was
the double horsepower thing. That's kick-ass NorCal.
I learned real quick that YouTube was not going to be a money-making venture. I thought it was. I thought, oh man, look at this. I'm going to get to make money with my hobby. Eventually, I'm going to be able to quit my job and just make RC videos.
If you would like lessons, all you got to do is just get a hold of ExoCage, Because if you reach out to him, he'd be more than happy to tell you how to run your channel.
Start up memberships and charge people a boatload of money to be a member, and all you got to do is make 2 or 3 extra videos a week. Every single video, beg people to join your membership, beg for super thanks and super chats and all of that, and then constantly run around the entire industry asking everybody that you can possibly get to listen to you to sponsor your videos.
Just not for anyone with a soul. Yeah, the morality of it. I mean, I do have this thing about it's like Oliver Anthony right now, to me, kind of. I've always been like, don't fucking sell out, man. Just do your thing. Don't buy into anybody else's bullshit or anything. You're gonna be original. Be yourself.
Yeah,
And just do you.
there's unfortunately with Oliver Anthony, that guy's got a little full of himself now.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, it kind of went right to his head, and he should have just.
Well, his YouTube channel, like for several weeks, his YouTube channel was making $60,000 a day. Then he signed a deal with a bar, a venue in Nashville, a $120,000 deal, where they're selling tickets and they were selling VIP experiences.
I heard that he went the same way. Yeah, it's
And
like, hey, I'm
he
all original.
He canceled the show and was like, F that, F you. That's bullshit. $99 a ticket. Are you fucking kidding me? And $190 for a meet and greet with me. People can meet and greet with me for free. But, dude, you took a $120,000 deal. And, and this is, I'd said bar, but this is a venue. I think there's, like 20,000 seats in there. So you got security, you got bartenders, you got ushers, you got people. I mean, they're paying you probably $120,000 on a night for you to appear where they might make $250,000, $300,000, but they still got to pay for all of
Everybody,
that.
yeah.
And, so you can't necessarily blame them. You can blame them for charging $199 because that's kind of a ripoff, considering that the bar that guy plays with at like every fucking week, you can go watch him for free and hang out.
Trying to monetize your channel?
Drink beers with you. Yeah, Robert, YouTube will bug the shit out of you to monetize your channel. You get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, and they will send you emails relentlessly. Oh, monetize your channel, become a partner.
The rear brakes on a 2008 Dodge 3500 and having problems. So you're out there lifting 50-pound brakes onto a Dodge. I just know it.
The real
Crazy
problem.
old guy.
The real problem is you bought a Dodge.
Yeah, I think it says it right here. DODGE. What is that word? It's bad. I know that.
Duck, dive, dodge, duck.
Nope.
Dodge has it right. Dodge has it right in their name. Don't dodge. Dodge us. Don't do it.
Did you give him a big fucking hammer? Here you go.
Everybody I know that has a Dodge, it is either a love-hate relationship with Dodge. They are either a fanatical Dodge owner or they are the most angry, pissed off car owner you've ever met. Fuck this company, piece of shit. And yeah, be careful if you piss off Jamie's family, you will lose half your family. I know it. 4. We got 4 tonight. And this is the story of YouTube. And this is the story, the history of my channel, of what's happened. 2 years ago, I was able to get, 500, 1,000 views on almost every video that I would put out.
Do you want to try to do the show on my channel?
We could.
I'm almost interested just to see who might show up for that.
I mean, everybody knows where your channel is. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna pick a
Maybe
Wednesday, and we're
1
gonna
week.
do
I don't know. One night,
um
whatever. We'll do a fly. I don't know.
because
I've been thinking
yeah,
about
I
hosting a
mean,
live.
I'm watching other channels suffering the same thing. You know, like I still I
Oh,
still
maybe
watch.
you should go back to the porn. That's
I
right. That's and then you could have Frank edit.
it. Yeah, I mean, I even see, the gold standard guys of RC videos with Talbots and Scale Builder Guild and Harley.
The views
Their
are
videos,
are falling
the
across.
views are falling. YouTube as a platform is shifting its direction, and they have been. They've been working towards this because there's just
Be like RC Adventure. Why? What's he doing right now? I'm
he's
so out of it. I need to pay more attention to the RC community if I want to talk trash at them, but I'm just kind of done with it.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, honestly, it's just one of those that the person that was direct messaging was like, "Oh, you're ruining your channel." And I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. I don't care if people don't go watch my videos. Like JB said, I didn't make those videos to become like a YouTube millionaire. It became a canvas for me to make videos that I like to watch, and I was more than happy to share with other people so that they could watch them. But now it's pointless. Like I said, I'm gonna work for hours and hours on a video, and they're gonna be like 50 views on it. That's not.
Well, who said that last time they were in here? Who was talking about that the last time we were in here? Somebody mentioned it. RC propaganda, or
It might
I
have
think.
been, but yeah, I mean the effort to put something quality video out is not worth. There's
Oh, that's
literally
hilarious. That's funny.
there's literally no real reward. It's not very rewarding anymore
By the
when
way,
it's the
YouTube
channel
didn't
porn
want you
star.
to say porn star. I think, just so you know.
Yeah, YouTube doesn't want you to say anything.
And isn't that bunk? That is so bunk. Because you know what? I swear to God, this is what happens. Is I'll put out a video and I see these comments and it'll say like one comment, and the comment's never in there.
Yeah,
And sometimes if you hit like top comments or new comments, it'll refresh and it'll be in there. But if YouTube has taken it out or if they've redacted it, it'll still say one comment and not be there.
there won't be a comment in there, and it's like, well, how can you say there's one comment when there's
Comment,
clearly no comments
no
there?
comments there. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you for your censorship or whoever took it back. I mean, if you took it back, that's fine. It's just that.
Well, but when you take a comment back, it zeroes out. It zeroes out your comments. Yeah, or the comments. If the video had no comments, you posted a comment, then you backed it out, it'll go back to 0 comments. The only time I've ever seen where it hangs numbers in there is when YouTube does something funky.
Be careful out there, old man.
Yeah, Mr. Brown, take it easy. Dodges are nasty animals,
Rare
and
freedom of speech.
they're they're
I
they're
was gonna say,
vengeful.
JM. I know. I mean, I thought Frank gave you time to talk, but I mean, you're always welcome to say what you want to right here.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, here's a perfect example. I don't know if anybody has heard that Russell Brand, YouTube has demonetized Russell Brand's channel,
He's a
his
little
entire
outrageous.
channel.
I'm not gonna lie, but come on, man. I mean, that's just it. Isn't this supposed to be a platform for creators? I mean, come on.
Well, they demonetized his channel because the media has said that women have accused him of rape. There's been no criminal charges filed. There's been no public statement by any person that has said, yes, he raped me. But YouTube, just on the rumor that there was something, demonetized his channel.
I don't know.
What
For
the
some
hell?
strange reason, I
That's-
want to get on eBay and see if I can find myself a Bill Cosby sweater now.
I mean, that's literally the definition of guilty until proven innocent. And that's YouTube's policy. They just yank everything down and then they deal with the repercussions later. But part of it is cancel culture has everybody just running scared. You can't say anything, you can't talk about anything. And the other part of it is the woke nonsense is become so ingrained in social media that they won't stand for it. They won't stand. They won't allow anybody that they don't deem what you're saying is right. They will just simply remove you.
You should be demonized or demonetized.
I
Yeah,
mean,
he should be demonized.
Russell Brand is not my.
I've listened to him a
He's
few
not my
times.
brand of humor.
He's a little outrageous to me. It's just a little like, come on, man.
His YouTube channel is not about humor at all.
No, it's not.
He's just talking about the level of corruption in the world.
That's what I'm saying. He still just comes across like a little far. Like, dude, you need to tone it down just a notch.
Well, Russell Brand is clearly one of those people that likes to use really big words so that he sounds smart.
That's fine,
So,
and you can
read
through
the thesaurus before every video.
But you gotta take it down. You gotta take down you're so eccentric about everything, dude. You just need to tone it down just a little bit.
Honestly, a lot of what he says is legit. He's asking the right questions right now.
I know, but he gets worked up about his shit. That's I guess that's what I do too. What the hell?
Well, and honestly, anytime social media comes down on you like that harshly, and they come up with, especially the rape allegation, because that seems to be the thing they use for everybody they want to get rid of. Honestly, to me, he's been doing something right. He said something right that somebody didn't like, and they have decided you can't be around no more. Now, honestly, the guy's got like 6 million freaking subscribers on his channel, and he gets a ton of views, but I can imagine that Russell Brand probably has enough money.
Yeah, it probably doesn't need that.
YouTube isn't his livelihood is in jeopardy because he's not monetized anymore. But the funny thing is, I heard Joe Rogan talking about on his podcast about the whole COVID thing and CNN. How
are we going to be?
Well, they made a joke about him taking horse dewormer, and he was, he's basically saying like CNN, they're like bashing me and saying all this shit about me, making fun of me because I took a horse dewormer and all this other crap, and he's like, they honestly thought that was going to impact me and my podcast. And he's like, I'm sitting over here at my house looking at Anderson Cooper and Jake Tapper and these guys like, you guys even realize I'm bigger than you? I'm literally bigger than you. You have a big old skyscraper and whatnot, but there's 100 times more people listening to me than to you. I have way more influence than you.
Right.
You're literally dirt on my shoe. I just wipe you off. And these they were so matter of fact, like, they're the official, we're CNN, blah, blah, blah. And I was watching it like, that's where we're at. That's where we're at. There's 3 things that the government needs to fix right now.
Oh, here comes the soapbox. Here comes the soapbox.
They need to fix it.
NorCal, did you get that prepared?
This was number 1 on my notes for this week. The first thing the government needs to fix, VA. And it's such an easy fix. It's stupid.
I didn't think you were going to tackle this.
You want to know how much I want to take care of our veterans? I'm willing to say F you to the VA, the entire VA system. First of all, every single one of those VA hospitals, sell them. You know how much it costs to run a hospital? The VA's budget for 2022 was $272 billion. A majority of that money is just running the hospitals. Every veteran that I've ever talked to that has to deal with the VA all says they suck. It's terrible. It's terrible medical care. So here's the cure. Okay, federal government, you suck at healthcare. You suck at running hospitals. You suck at hiring doctors and nurses to take care of people who sacrifice the most for this country. You suck at it. So get out of the business part of it. Here's the easiest way to fix it. Close all the VAs. Close all the clinics, the hospitals, all that. Close them all down. Save yourself a bunch of money. Okay? Every veteran, okay, because the VA only deals with after you're out of the military. So after you leave the military, you get a card that says, I'm a veteran. You can walk into any hospital, any clinic, any ER, any fucking whatever you want. Dentist office, fucking eye care, whatever. You flash that card, you go, I'm a veteran. Plug that into your computer. That place goes, hey, thank you very much, Mr. JB. Boop, boop, Mr. Veteran, here you go. Whatever you need, taken care of. And all the government does, they become an accounting firm. They just pay the bill. Pay the bill. You think for $270 billion a year, you could just be paying medical bills. And now your veterans get to go to whatever hospital they want. They get to go see whatever doctor they want. They don't have to go to Dr. Joe at the VA who's a dick and deal with him and being a dick all the time. They could go like, oh, dude, Joe, you suck ass. I'm out. I'm going to go over to that hospital because Dr. Bob is cool. And Dr. Bob, and then that guy goes and tells all his vet buddies, Dr. Bob is good. Dr. Joe sucks ass. And guess what happens? Dr. Joe's hospital is going to fail. Survival of the fittest.
I want to mention here that I'm not a veteran.
You allow the competitive free market society do the best possible job they can do for our veterans. Otherwise, they'll fail. Number one, okay, I fixed the VA. I bet you I could cut the VA budget to just paying hospital bills now and medical bills for vets. I bet you it drops down to $100 billion a year. All right, I'm cool with that. Even if it's 150, even if it's still $272 billion a year, I'm still cool with that. Pay it. Just pay the fucking bill. No questions asked, no nothing. You just, hey, here's a bill from Dr. Bob. Here's your check. It's in the mail. There you go, buddy. Thanks a lot, Dr. Bob, for treating our people good.
I didn't see it coming either, NorCal.
So, I mean, that's the VA system completely fixed. Completely fixed. And number two, government needs to step in and fix social media. They need to stop allowing social media to act like publishers while being able to hide.
I'm not sure I want that to happen, though.
Well, but it's not about stifling free speech.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but
it's about getting the government. It's about allowing the government to step in and say, you don't have the same rights as a publisher, because that's what you have now. You have the same rights as a publisher that publishes books and newspapers and whatnot, because they are using the loopholes in that in order to stifle free speech. They're doing that. They're able to shut down YouTube channels like Russell Brand because they don't like what he has to say, and they use the business aspect of it. And it's shady as all hell. Not to mention, I just took the YouTube training for the community guidelines.
And are you serious? You really went through that?
Yep, 7 questions. And it's my comment at the end to them was, this is the dumbest thing I've ever done. I'm stupider now than I was when I started this because I had to do this. And everything about this whole entire you can't talk about election thing is freaking ridiculous. Anybody should be able to sit and question the validity of anything that the federal government controls and has control over, and state governments and politicians and bureaucrats. That is our right in given to us in the Constitution, is to question everything. And yet YouTube will not allow it. They will not allow you to be on their platform and question anything about elections, period. You also can't question anything about viruses or vaccines or anything like that, because they deem it to be misinformation. Yet, like I've said before, you can watch 40,000 videos, bullshit, grainy videos talking about how Sasquatch is real. Scientists guarantee it's real. There's evidence in it. No, there isn't. If there was evidence, Popular Mechanics would have paid that $1 million bounty that they've had out for honest to goodness, real verified evidence, proof that Sasquatch is real, proof that UFOs are real, proof that the earth is flat. Popular Mechanics, the magazine that's been around since before most of us were born, has had a standing order for all of these things that if you can provide proof, we'll give you $1 million. So if you have definitive proof that Sasquatch is real, why haven't you collected that check?
Shit, you know what? I should, because I know that Sasquatch is real. If you, like, what is it, Tuesday or Thursday nights, he has a talk show. It's called Frank the Tank. He looks more like a Yeti, honestly, with all that white hair. Does Canadian have Yeti? I don't know. Is there a French
I believe
Canadian?
Sasquatch is Canadian as well. They call it Sasquatch because that's I believe it's derived from Indian. They hairy man something. But yeah,
Man who asks for money on his chat show. No.
Yeah, fix social media. Just fix it so that social media channels have no power whatsoever to censor anybody's content within reason. All right, I don't want YouTube to allow freaking porn. Okay, that's violates community guideline. Okay, but when it comes to free speech and talking about things, no, absolutely not. You assholes shouldn't have any control whatsoever of what I can say on this show. And yet they do. I know they do because they had to delete a whole show because of something that I said. And that is number 2. Number 3, fixing the government.
Round 3. Here we go.
It's so simple, it's not even funny. Term limits. Term limits for everybody in the government. Even if you're appointed to a position by the President of the United States, of which, in most cases, those people are usually cycled through every president. Not always. Some presidents will just keep somebody in a job because they think they're doing a good job at it. But
Sure.
In cases like Dr. Fauci, for instance, that man was racking up $850,000 a year working for the federal government, being shitty at his job. Everybody knows he was shitty at his job because he was on television all the time being shitty at his job and being called out for being shitty at his job. And yet he was allowed to retire. He didn't get fired. He was allowed to retire. Joe Biden was in the Senate for 50 years. 50 years. And Joe Biden's now talking about all these things he wants to fix. He wants to. What were you doing for the first 50 years you were in there?
Making money.
Sack of shit. But it's the same thing. Dianne Feinstein. Dianne Feinstein is literally holding on by a thread right now. She is so near death. She gets wheeled around in a wheelchair. Still a member of the Senate. She hasn't been fired yet. Nancy Pelosi, freaking Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell's having strokes like every 2 weeks.
When you're in, there's only one way out.
During a freaking press conference, dude will be like,
You swear an oath. You swear an oath to the Senate when you sign it. It's this and for life.
But I mean, term limits are so simple, and the only people that can enact term limits are the people that won't enact term limits. They won't vote themselves out because you're right. They're making money hand over fist. It's stupid how much money our people in Congress make. Don Goldman, House of Representative from New York. That man made something like 7 stock trades in his entire lifetime. He started Congress in January of this year and made 500 stock trades in the first 2 weeks he was in office.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He tripled his net worth in 2 weeks after being elected to serve the people of the United States of America.
Buy my eBay course, and you can too.
But yeah, and the only way any of this happens is the people have to demand it and not, show up to the fucking Capitol building on a Tuesday in fucking January and run around taking selfies inside the building and taking shits on Nancy Pelosi's fucking laptop. That's not how you're going to get shit done. Running around with a
all I can think
buffalo
of
hat on.
Every time we go off on the deep end is idiocracy. It's all I can think of.
I mean, there's a legitimate way to do things, and most of it is just spreading knowledge to people. Share knowledge with people. Like, hey, you got 5 buddies. Talk to your 5 buddies. Hey, did any one of you assholes vote for Joe Biden? Because here's why you should never do that again. Here's 10 reasons why you should never vote for a fucking Democrat ever again. Because they have shit on you literally for decades. They don't give 2 shits about you. They don't give 2 shits about anybody. All they care about is making that money. Massive shift in the average congressperson.
That sounds
from private citizens. This is true. This is NorCal, 5,000 points for some freaking history. Bam. It should absolutely, you should only be allowed to serve a maximum of 3 terms in Congress. And the same with Supreme Court. You should not be appointed to the Supreme Court for life. I'm sorry. You don't need to be a judge for your entire life.
Oh man, on the respirator, wheeling me in, I'm still a part of the secret cult.
I mean, Ruth Bader Ginsburg was so freaking old. She was like Dianne Feinstein old. And this is somebody that literally holds the fate of people's lives in her hands. And I guarantee you that woman was probably shitting herself 3 times a day. Speaking of shitting themselves, Jerry Nadler. Congressman Jerry Nadler. Has anybody seen the footage of Jerry Nadler shitting himself during a press conference?
No. This is good.
Look it up on YouTube. It's freaking hilarious. Nancy Pelosi's standing up on the talking away, and Jerry Nadler's like standing in the background, and all of a sudden, homie, you see it. You see it happen. Homie realizes, oh God, I gotta go. And he starts like kind of, and then it happens, and you can see he does the walk. I just shit myself walk, and just walks off the stage in the middle of the press conference. Awesome. That's the people that we elect. That's the people that make the laws in our country that affect our everyday lives. They're the reason why gas is $3.50 a gallon in fucking Tennessee. Dianne Feinstein, here's a great one. They just changed the dress code for the Senate. Okay? Because the good senator from Pennsylvania, John Fetterman, couldn't bring himself to wear anything but shorts and fucking hoodies every day.
Fuck yeah, dude.
That's how a sitting U.S. senator, that's how he showed up for work.
Hell yeah.
He showed up for press conferences. Now, this is the man that while he was running last year, while he was running to be a senator, he had a fucking stroke. And he still won. He won a seat in the Senate like months after he had a stroke. The man literally couldn't complete a sentence. And he had a huge goiter on his neck. And it's why he wore the hoodies all the time, is to hide the huge goiter he had on his neck. I don't give a fuck what kind of goiter you have on your neck. You're making enough fucking money, pal. Let's be clear, John Fetterman was wealthy before he ran for the Senate. You got enough money that you can have custom-made suits to fit around the fucking hump on your back. I don't give a fuck. You're in the Senate. You got elected. You get paid like $385,000 a year. You're goddamn right you wear a fucking suit every day. Okay? I work from home. I can wear shorts and hoodies. That's okay. You're a member of fucking Congress, crying out loud. And they changed the rule. What the fuck is going on with this country? You know what's going to happen? The fucking senators and whatnot, they're going to start showing up in fucking togas, and these big, fat, fucking nasty bitches are going to start showing up wearing fucking yoga pants and shit, and they're going to be grossing everybody out. No. Put on a fucking suit and a tie. It's a business, for crying out loud. We deserve better than fucking shorts and hoodies.
I think it's great.
It's insanity. It's insanity.
It's idiocracy.
If it was a fucking Republican that they had done that for, Democrats and every fucking media outlet would be shitting themselves right now. What are you talking about? You can't wear shorts and a hoodie. This is the... Speaking of talking about things, did anybody see the whole thing with Lauren Boebert? The congresswoman from Colorado who got caught on video getting groped while watching play. If you haven't...
Wait, say this one more time. For what? She got groped?
She was in a theater watching Beetlejuice the play. And
that's why, okay.
She was on a date.
I always get the memes. I never get the story. I always get the memes.
So they had an infrared camera that caught what they were. She was sitting there vaping and taking like selfies with a flash and whatnot in the theater. But her boyfriend was also copping a feel while they were in the theater. Now, hey, you're a fucking adult. But the outrage has come out. Everybody here knows who Howard Stern is, right?
Right.
Howard Stern talked about how disgraceful it was for her to behave that way. Howard Stern made a video, a VHS tape called Butt Bongo Fiesta. And he is talking about whether or not somebody that was on a date and wasn't expecting to be filmed in a dark theater
with an infrared camera. Who the fuck is this guy? Is it like the CIA following them or something? I mean, what did you pay for that infrared camera? Can I borrow it, by the way? Jesus.
Well, I mean,
anyways, yeah, I mean, you know, whatever. If people, I mean, that's just the thing. That's what social media has ruined for us. Is the fact that you can't just like, you know, I can't just go have a good time somewhere because I'm going to want to go have a good time somewhere, because if I do, you know, and I'll be honest, I know it's going to sound stupid and it's going to sound absolutely fucking crazy and nuts, but I ran into some of the local boys the other day who were not happy with me. So, I mean,
local boys,
what do you want me to say? You know, like,
I just, you know, I mean, first of all, Lauren Boebert's relatively young. I think she's in her 30s. She's reasonably good looking. She's a good looking woman. She just divorced her husband, who was a giant tool. And she's, you know, she's a member of Congress. And she goes to a play with, you know, with her date. And she's a congresswoman, so you know that she's probably kind of a bit of a Karen as it is. Because somebody got, you know, you could tell when they were showing the video of them escorting out that she's like pointing fingers and doing the whole, do you know who I am thing? But hey, yeah, okay. Is it unbecoming behavior? Yeah, sure, whatever. But is there far worse things that's going on in the by Congress people? And yeah,
Wait a minute. Here's this huge mountain of coke over here, and you telling me that you got finger banged at the Beetlejuice play? Nope, I don't care. Sorry. I don't like it. I just like the way it smells.
1,000 points to JB because he likes the way it smells. What did she expect in a Beetlejuice face? It is. It's yeah. There's all kinds of like just silly shit. I was just talking about this before the show with JB that I'm sure everybody's seen the news about the F-35 that pilot ejected and the jet kept flying for a little while and they lost it for a few days. And how they've changed the story like 3 or 4 times. Obviously, they don't want to tell us what really happened. They don't. They're lying to us about it because they know they can get away with it because there's no way for us to find out what really happened. So
I don't know. We allow an absolute free chat in here. You guys can make comments or bring something up if you want to, and nobody talks anyways. We just figure you guys just love hearing our voices.
NorCal, it's sometimes that's the way it is. Sometimes the chat is super busy. Sometimes it's not. Most of the time, it just is. I think it's just subject matter.
We always appreciate your participation, and we love the chat here. So,
yep.
Anything you guys want to say, feel free.
It is the most fun thing about doing this show is the chat. It's seeing what you guys all have to say. But yeah, the F-35 thing. Why not just tell us? You know, I made the joke that HAL 9000 didn't like the pilot, so it fucking ejected him. Like, dude, I don't need you. I can fly by myself. Bye. Poof, you're gone. And that thing just went about its mission.
I caught on to that, Mr. Clifton.
I'm here. Sheep for a minute. I was feeling sheepish. Hey, yeah. 5,000 points to Mr. Clifton because
at least he was feeling them and not counting them. I don't know.
Hey, GoPro quietly came out with a GoPro Hero 12.
Oh, I saw that because Arma happens to be in there. There's a Arma getting chased by some dogs, I think, in the promotional video for the new one.
So I have watched several people's comparison between the Hero 12 and the DJI Action 4, and I think we are witnessing history. The changing of the guard has officially happened. GoPro is no longer the king of action cameras. DJI has passed them up. I'm a little sad. I've been a GoPro fan for a long time. I myself jumped ship last year, got a DJI myself. But yeah, pretty much everything across the board, DJI is just better. The DJI Action 4 is pretty amazing. They changed the sensor size. They dropped down to a smaller sensor, so now the low light. I mean, that's always been a problem with GoPro. You can't use it at night.
You can, but oh man,
you have to have
it sucks. Lighting. Yeah.
But DJI went to a smaller sensor and improved the low light filming like immensely. I saw a guy riding his little electric skateboard, and he was riding along the beach, and he went into the parking garage, and the transition from the light to the dark was what you expect it to be. It's how a camera always has to make that adjustment, so you have a second or two of wonkiness. But when it came up inside the parking garage, I was legitimately shocked. Like, that's better than most cell phone cameras in low light. And cell phone cameras are usually pretty freaking good in low light.
I don't know
And
the 360s. I thought there was a couple 360 cameras. Is that? I mean, what do you guys think about those? I'm not a big 360 fan myself. It's a lot of
Insta 360 has its own niche. It's good for what it is, but it's not meant as a side by side competitor to the Action 4.
I think it depends on what kind of a shot I would be going for.
It's a very compact little camera. It's a little teeny tiny thing. But yeah,
Isn't
the
that the
quality.
360 part? Is that it films all the way around?
They do have a 360 camera, but they also have like a small lapel camera.
Okay.
Well. So they have a few different iterations. But yeah, I mean the Action 4, for the most part, the sound is the same. The Hero 12, the Action 4, the sound in the speaker in the camera itself, it's shit. It always has been. It's never going to be any good because it's an action camera and they have to seal everything up. So getting sound to pass through waterproof membranes, you're never going to get good quality. But where DJI has like completely surpassed GoPro is their external microphone thing that just plugs in a USB-C port in the side of their camera, where GoPro, you either have to buy their media mod so that you can get a jack to plug a microphone on, or now they added the Bluetooth feature so that you can connect via Bluetooth. But it's only like AirPods and things like that, which sound like absolute garbage. When you're recording video and you gotta have sound, there's no way in hell you're gonna use that with a GoPro.
I don't know anything with GoPro, anything like that mounts onto GoPro like that. I always is just big and bulky and stupid. Because I had the Karma grip for the original stabilizer and stuff, and I mean even that was or the extended arm, the GoPro extended arm. I don't know, all that shit just seems.
So I don't have. Here it is, over here. Yeah. So this is minus the actual camera, but this was my GoPro rig. So with the microphone with the little jack thing that you have
Look at
to
that.
plug,
You can hear the little tires scraping against the rocks. Okay.
So that was my GoPro rig. That's my DJI rig. I don't need anything. And when I want to have sound, where did I put it? Oh,
I'm just gonna throw stuff on the floor. Just throw shit on the floor, Rich.
Yeah, when I want to have sound, I have that little thing that plugs in. If I want to have external sound, that little thing that plugs in, and that's a wireless mic jack. And then I have a little lavalier mic that you can barely see. But for the most part, I don't need it because the sound in this is pretty much good enough for RC videos. It's usually the only time I ever used this was when I wanted to talk on camera. The GoPro, I had to use that microphone for everything because the sound was such shit on it that it wouldn't work good without it. And the other thing that DJI just absolutely smoked GoPro, and I was sure that GoPro was going to do this for the 12. Magnetic mount system. I never have to do this stupid thumb screw. Never. I bought like 4 of these mounts to mount on the different posts. So when I want to move the camera from one to the other, just take it off and move it and put it over here. And now it's ready to go.
Cheater. Cheater.
Not to mention this, the Action 3. This was $100 cheaper than the Hero 11.
I want a high quality, low cost drone capable of filming and editing HD, blah, blah, blah. You like the way I read that? Here, I'll give you some love on that one. And click the love button for you here.
Drones. I have wanted to get a drone.
The push of a button. Oh man, I don't know anything that's a single fly. It just flies itself and films for you.
My
DJI would be my top recommendation for sure.
My buddy has a DJI Mavic 2, not the Pro, just the 2. And it is stupid easy to fly, and the footage is ridiculously amazing. And it's as easy to edit as GoPro footage.
I want to say that I've flown a Mavic because somebody had one and I got the chance to fly it around a little bit, and they're incredibly like intuitive.
Yeah. I mean, you can literally in the app, you can go to the GPS and you can bring up the map and you can just map the route you want it to fly in. And it'll go fly that route. He goes out in the desert all the time and he flies it out in the desert, and he literally just brings it up on the screen. He maps out where he wants to go around the campsite. He's going to go out for a quick ride, and he wants the thing to film just the perimeter, and then he'll take off. Once he gets the first initial footage, he'll bring the camera back up and he'll say, okay, follow me. Punches follow me. The drone comes down and it follows him, and then he goes riding, and that freaking drone just follows him around.
Yeah,
and the footage is freaking awesome. The problem is it's like a $1,500 it's a $1,500 drone.
Well, that's just it. But I don't know how to put it. It's worth it. They're worth the pennies. An old Phantom would probably be okay, but the new Mavericks is where it's at. And the truth of the matter is I do know that like on the new ones, like he's talking about, try not to crash. The new ones do have kind of a landing procedure depending on, how you do it. Because
well, his has a home.
You got to be careful when you hit home.
So what happens is it gets to a battery point. He sets a battery point like, okay, when you get 15%, you go home. And he picks the spot, it flies to the home, it lands itself.
As long as you set home before you take off, because yes. I know that on some of those.
Now he has crashed it a couple of times. He's run it into things. Like he's, been going through a tight little area, and the thing literally crashes into the side of a canyon or something like that. And he's had to go and hike and get it, because obviously you're not gonna let your $1,500 drone. But it's
landing procedures is no straight into the ground, fastest part. That's one way to do it.
Yeah, it's just one of those DJI. They have done so good with the software and the camera itself, and as much as I've looked into drones, I haven't been comfortable enough with I don't think you could buy a drone for under $700 or $800.
Well, I mean, I flew the old.
Give you quality footage.
You remember when GoPro had their drone? I flew that drone. That was my first drone, and I had an old Unique too. But I mean,
by the way, what's crack-a-lackin' Earl? Hey, Earl, look what I got. I got a freaking Promoto. And by the way, thank you for the figuring out the whole front brake thing. Because I ran one battery through it, and then I tore the front brake caliper off and sanded it down, and it night and day stopping power. I didn't even have to put shrink wrap around the brake line. I actually just zip tied it to the handlebar itself, because the brake caliper works so good now. It doesn't matter that there's flex in the cable. Just zip tying it down took care of the problem. So kudos to Earl. Also kudos to Earl for being a maniac, because he got his bike to go 70 or 72, and now he's going to go 4S because he wants to break 100.
Has anyone done it yet?
I don't think so. I don't think anybody's gone 70 other than Earl. It's the only one I've seen of anybody doing legit speed passes with their Promoto.
Are you not in the Promoto group shouting yourself out for that shit? Somebody should.
I see a MX crazy. Glad the brake fix were at. it's I said before, it's worth the hype. It's lived up to the hype for sure for me. I've had a blast with it. The gyro, the engineering that they did with the gyro and the software is pretty impressive. Because in one of Earl's earlier videos, he was telling the hobby shop owner, like, before you with old motorcycles, you had to struggle to keep it upright. This one, you struggle to get it to fall over. Like literally, when the thing falls over on its little training wheel, and you just goose the gas a little bit, and it bloop, and it's right straight back up. World first 100 bike in my own bike.
Well, if you get up to, yeah, I mean, dude, that's some bragging rights. Even if you're like the third, whatever, even if you're like the 100th person, dude, it's still some bragging rights to get pushing up.
Well, I mean, Earl's done, did a fair amount of homework in order to get the BEC and everything, because the Losi specifically said, don't plug anything above a 2S into this. It'll burn up the gyro instantly. Which I have noticed that the stator, I actually drilled some holes in the side panel of mine. I noticed that the stator in mine gets really freaking hot. By the time I get done running, it's freaking hot. The day before, I had it running where I only had 2 screws in the side panel so that I could get the side panel off real quick. And when it came back in, the end plate of that stator was 136 degrees. So I was like, damn, that's hot.
I want to show people how to do it. Most won't share their build. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, that weird part of like people being all secretive about speed runs. I know Kevin Talbot even got in a game with his. He got some super secret tires for his 200-mile-an-hour sausage car that he had a custom made in the secret Skunk Works warehouse. Like, dude, first of all, everybody knows that if they work, you're going to sell the shit out of those things. And you're going to be promoting. There ain't going to be nothing secretive about it. It's going to be like, yep, you can buy you some 200-mile-an-hour tires, $75 a set. I'll ship them to you from my warehouse. Do you want to sign up for my eBay course?
Hold on, I need to drop our PayPal link and pat myself on the back for being here.
Secret cut in half tires. Yeah, I don't know what the real land speed record guys don't even run rubber tires. They run just aluminum discs.
Because that's because tires don't hold up at a certain point. Yeah.
So they run discs. Now, unfortunately, when the disc doesn't provide a whole lot of traction in the salt flat, so if you get even remotely offline, you run the risk of crashing at 750 miles an hour, which I forget the gal's name, but she learned real quick that you generally don't survive that kind of crash. Pretty girl. Wiped herself out trying to do a speed run. Sad. Hey, and I haven't talked about any racing crap today. It's really not much that's been going on. It's just there's been races happening, and people have been winning, and people have been losing. That's the extent of my racing coverage.
Jesse Combs.
Jesse Combs. And I believe she set the female land speed record before she died. But I have taken some nasty spills on a motorcycle. I have taken nasty spills in all sorts of race cars. I was very good at crashing. I cannot imagine crashing at like 300 or 400 miles an hour.
What did you
That's
want to talk crap on today? I'm willing to talk crap on
what are you
anybody.
talking crap about today. Whole reason to come laugh here. Hey, I mean, we really didn't talk that much crap. We did.
It really was so. It's been so, like I said, it's been so dry in the RC world. Everybody's been so I don't know, man. All the chat
We made
shows,
fun of the John
everything is.
Fetterman rule. Hey, here's a little tidbit. Do you know that there is only one female cereal mascot ever in the history of cereal? There's only been one female mascot.
I gotta. Why is this a note for you? Why is this?
Well, because I happened to be watching a program the other day, and they were talking about cereals, and one of the people brought up the fact that Carmela Crunch is in fact the only female cereal mascot that has ever existed. And she's, I believe, part of the whole like Boo Berry, Count Chocula, Frankenberry, that whole line of cereals. I believe that she was a part of that.
Huh.
Random fact of the day.
Fact.
Carmela Crunch, the only female cereal mascot ever. You know what else I realized just right now? That I'm probably a little bit muffled because my microphone was all the way back there. It wasn't even right here.
Hey there.
It's a good thing because earlier I was yelling.
There's two if you count Jenner. You lost me.
Oh.
Of course, that's easy to do. So, if you're talking politics, most of the time you guys are teaching me.
I mean, well, he's talking about Caitlyn Jenner, formerly Bruce Jenner, Olympic gold medalist. In the decathlon.
Oh, okay. Now I know. I had to think about it.
Yeah, there hasn't been any like ridiculous sports things going on with men joining women's teams and beating the crap out of them.
I could talk shit on Ledgestock. Did anybody go to Ledgestock or hear about Ledgestock?
No.
I don't. Yeah, I was gonna say I could talk shit on it, but I don't even know anything about it. I know that
You know what's funny is there's a certain group of people that make a really big deal out of certain RC events. Like it's the end all be all of RC events. Like Beat the Creek. I heard nothing that Beat the Creek is just the most awesome, most amazing event. It is the best event, absolutely hands down. But like 1,000 people show up for it. Axial Fest California gets like 1,500 people to show up for it, and it sucks. Proline by the Fire will get like 2,000 people to show up for it, and the reason why they don't get more is because they hold that event in the middle of the fucking desert in the summer, like a bunch of dumbasses. What do you think is a good place for an RC event? You know what? 100 miles south of Death Valley.
Can we pick where there's no water or sewer?
And there's like 4 porta potties for everybody to use. 4. Which Proline by the Fire, I believe, is this weekend.
Is it?
They had a theme for it, and I don't even know what the theme is.
Oh my god!
But yeah, it's kind of like USTE, the end all be all event. You should go. Your bucket list events.
Fuck Rob Matthews. Fuck USTE.
Ledgestock. Beat the Creek. USTE. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, I'm sorry. It doesn't matter what you do for your events. I know people that have been to all of these events, and they all say the same thing. Just go to Proline by the Fire. That's the only event you need to go to because it's better than all of them. Because A, it's put on by people with deep ass pockets. And you're not going to get any better than events that are put on by people with deep ass pockets because they'll just throw money at it.
Right.
Proline by the Fire They give away so much shit at that event. Like that final night, the raffle goes on for like 2.5 hours of just them reading off raffle numbers and giving shit away. Like the first 20 minutes of it is handing out the trophies for the shit. The rest of it is just the raffle of them giving shit away. Because Horizon's got hundreds of millions of dollars. They can give free shit away like it's going out of style. And they do.
Bruce Jenner was on a cereal box back in the day. Was he really?
He was on the Wheaties box.
No shit.
After he won the gold medal, he was.
How much does one of those cost? Oh my god.
A Bruce Jenner Wheatie box?
Yeah, we gotta know now.
eBay it. I bet you it'll cost you $100 to get one right now. Because that's a collector's item.
Nah, you can pick it up.
Back when Caitlyn was a dude, he was on the Wheaties box.
Oh, wait a minute. That's not an original.
I'm sure you're probably going to have to cycle through quite a few people who
have it's going up
Wheaties boxes.
It's going up to about $255.
Woo!
Unopened box bids start at about $125. So anywhere between $125 to $255
for a 40-year-old box of cereal that tasted like shit when it was brand new.
An unopened box, yes, of Wheaties. I don't know what makes it so much better being. I guess the top, but still, you gonna open that and eat that?
5,000 points to Earl. What's a girl's pussy and the mafia have in common? If you slip up,
yeah, that's nice. That's nice, Earl.
5,000 more points to Earl because that's a zinger.
Because he's trying to get you.
I don't know if anybody sees the. It's usually two guys and they're like sitting on a dock at a lake, and sometimes it's in the middle of the summer, sometimes like in the middle of winter, and there's like snow all over the place. But it's just them telling dad jokes to one another, and it's one of the few YouTube shorts that I will actually go with specifically to their channel and watch their stuff, and also the Rockstar animal voice guy. He puts voices to people's home animal videos, and it's absolutely hilarious.
Well, we're definitely on the downhill side of the show.
This is usually when it starts getting crazy.
I'm hoping.
I had a first time experience this weekend.
Do I want to know, or
I experienced a Dollar Tree for the first time.
Oh yeah.
Now I did not even know that Dollar Trees are all over the place.
Yeah.
My wife even pointed out, yeah, we had Dollar Tree in California. I literally lived for 10 years right down the street from a Dollar Tree. No memory of that store ever. But we went to a strip mall, and in the strip mall, as we were going from between two stores, there was a Dollar Tree.
Have you added any parts to your Promoto yet?
Yes, I did the foot pegs, the triple clamps, and I did the black wheels, and that. I got the gold sprocket. I have plans to do more. I'm just trying to weigh out because GPM, Vitavon, and T-Reel are like dumping new aluminum parts like every week. And I'm kind of just waiting to see what everybody says about all of them before I kind of decide which ones I want to go. I got the triple clamps because I ordered that on the pre-order days, and like Losi randomly shipped them to me before I canceled all of my aftermarket parts orders. They managed to ship it out to me. But yeah, no, I definitely want to. I definitely want to put a bunch of stuff on the bike because that was. I was more excited about doing that than I was even running the bike. Like I want to. I want to trick this thing and make it look fucking cool. I don't. And damn it if the damn thing doesn't get all scratched up and beat to shit really quick. I've already ruined the jersey. Both of his elbows are just gone. And that's because I have two spare jerseys. So I just figured that the first one was a sacrificial jersey anyhow.
Right.
So I'm just going to ride it, beat the shit out of it. But the rear fender it's destroyed.
I've seen people, yeah.
I mangled the shit out of that. I mangled the shit out of his boots. But I'm surprised.
It's loved. Yeah.
It's fun. Like I said, it's definitely for a certain part of the RC crowd. People who love motorcycles are going to absolutely love having this thing.
Right.
People who are just RC fans and thought it was a cool thing and bought it, but don't understand the physics of a motorcycle, they're probably not going to have that much fun because it takes a little bit to kind of figure it out. It's weird when you turn the steering wheel and the wheel goes the wrong way.
Yeah.
Everything in your brain is like, that's wrong. It's wrong. It's
no, just drive it. Just drive it. Stop chilling. Don't worry about that part. Just put it on the ground.
Yeah, you put it on the ground and you turn the wheel, and you know because you just saw, I want to go left, and that thing turned the front wheel right.
Yeah.
I know that. And I put it down on the ground and I hit the gas and I turn it to go left and it goes left. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
It's going right because the wheel turned right. But no, it's counter steering and it's how they get the bike to lean over. And all of the software wizardry that is going on in the electronics of that bike.
Pretty amazing. Recreation showing up late.
Hey, Recreation.
You got it. Well, we're in the last 13 minutes. This is when it gets really spicy. You guys are allowed to say whatever you want. You know, I keep waiting for somebody in chat to talk trash too, but nobody in chat ever, nobody wants to take a stab at the RC world. It's all right. JB will do it for you. Who do you want me to stab at?
But 1,000 points for showing up.
Yeah.
Still net 900 points here. Yeah, I have no problem with people want to bitch about anything in the RC the community. If they want to bitch about people in the RC community, have at it. You have free reign here to say whatever you want. Always. This show I do not censor anything. I don't block anybody. I don't block comments. If YouTube blocks a comment, if you post a comment and it doesn't show up in that chat, you say, hey, my comment didn't show up in the chat.
Well, I'll put that shit up on the screen. I don't understand that because I just want to be clear about that. I think
I'll do it just like that.
Hey, everybody,
YouTube can suck it.
I do notice that the gyro starts to get noisy later after jumping, and I can't find why it looks perfectly fine.
It's I have seen several people talking about the thing spinning at 22,000 RPMs, that it's the bearings. Horizon didn't, they probably should have gone with like a high-end ceramic ball bearing in there to handle super high speeds like that. But they probably went with a fairly tight tolerance, but a regular stainless steel ball bearing. And at that high RPM, it's going to do a number on the bearings pretty quick. I have
especially if you're jumping it. That's the problem, because then you're causing an impact of force.
You're putting load on the bearing where it's not typically seeing that kind of side loads, instant impact loads happening. But the quick and easy way to fix that is you can either go to Boca Bearing's website, because Boca Bearing will let you order
He says there's no play in them. They're smooth.
Yeah. There doesn't have to be. I mean, it can literally be, a tenth of a thousandth of an inch
To make it
in
click.
there, just enough for the inner and outer race to just slightly vibrate, and it, at that high speed, it'll start to make a louder noise. I know I was fairly impressed with how quiet the gyro was. All the videos, I thought the thing was going to be like kind of annoyingly loud, but it's actually not. It's fairly quiet so far. It does sound like a freaking jet winding up when you first turn it on. It's kind of cool, but I I have already
Girl's
prepped.
pulling it apart right now. I'm gonna pull it apart.
I have already planned on taking that apart relatively soon so that I can measure the bearings out and get some high speed bearings on order. Because like I said, I've heard a bunch of people say that, and they'll like pop the thing open, it's perfectly clean in there, and I don't think it's a dirt problem because everything is inside and there's no air or anything. There's no dirt that can really get in there. So it really is just that thing is spinning so hard. And that stator, I'm not sure if everybody's gets as hot as mine does, but that stator gets hot, and high speed bearing with a lot of heat being applied.
JM, you got one too, huh? The black uniform's awesome. I like it way better on the white plastics I installed. Yeah, that probably white and black is classic.
Yeah. Now, see, I have my plan was I'm trying to move out of the way here. That picture right there is of my black 450, and that bike was. There's no way other way to explain it that bike was demonic. It was stupid fast. The engine was built to basically run the Baja 1000. So maxed out on the rev limiter for hours and hours and hours and on end. And it had a ridiculous amount of horsepower. That bike spit me off so many times because it surprised me. It's why I describe it as demonic, because that thing would literally just spit me off of it like, I don't want you anymore. Bye. But it was also one of the most badass looking bikes. Everywhere I took that bike, people were like, that's so sick. And it was because it was just black. It was black with some very small red stripes in it.
Right.
And it was basically, I made it so that it was murdered out. So it was black plastics, black matte Takeishi wheels, black matte Takeishi hubs on it. I had the sprocket anodized black. It had magnesium case, magnesium head, and all of that. That was all electro polished and electro. I don't know what they call electro tinting.
Okay.
So basically, they plug electrodes into it and they run a bunch of electricity, so it starts changing colors.
Right.
And it was essentially the motor was a very deep, like reddish kind of maroon color.
That's hilarious, Earl. That is fucking
and
cool.
It has been my plan, was to recreate that bike in that bike.
I'm just gonna throw 1,000 points to Earl for that comment. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
If I get White Rider in there, Black Rider has more skills. White Rider didn't have the balance.
That's right.
Yeah,
it's just so
all woke with their rider.
Apparently,
also one of the best riders as far as skills and talent that has ever ridden professional motorcycle motocross is arguably James Stewart. That man would have been the GOAT. He would have won more races and more championships had he learned to um, sort of just back off. Dude would be 30 seconds in front of second place, and he would still be setting lap times 5 seconds faster than everybody else. Hey, dude, you won. You won this race. There's 5 laps to go. Nobody can catch you. You're too fast. And in that 5 laps, he would eat shit in the most unbelievable way you have ever seen, and he would lose the race because he'd literally just like fucking knock himself out. And I mean, James Stewart invented scrubbing jumps. He invented it. He's the one that was like, hey, you know what? Instead of launching myself off a jump, I'm going to lay the bike over on its side when I get almost to the top of the jump. And because the bike is going faster when the wheel's on the ground and the motor
Right.
is not when I'm
I've thought about this before. I mean, it's physics, right? You know, as you're flying through the air, you're actually slowing down.
You're losing speed. You're losing momentum. But yeah, so I mean, it is almost correct that Losi, they got a black rider as technically probably
Hilarious.
the best rider. Although I do have to say,
I'm not low-C racist. I always finish first.
Jet Lawrence and Hayden Deegan are generational motorcycle talents. Yeah, Earl. Hayden Deegan. Hayden is an absolute lunatic on a motorcycle. The last super motocross race that he had, there was a jump on the back straightaway that was technically a double. Well, it wasn't a double. It was a single where there was 2 rumple jumps or whoops and then another jump. Now, most everybody was jumping off of that single and landing in front of the 2 rumple bumps. Hayden Deegan was launching all the way into the second, so that all he had to do was land into the first rumble bump, let the bike kind of spring up off the ground, and then mash the throttle down as opposed to slowing and going over 2 whoops. He was landing on the downslope of the first whoop, letting the bike spring up, and then popping back down on the ground so he could just peg the throttle into the next jump.
Yeah, I was hitting a triple that no one else would, and that's the thing. Even in the old motocross games when I was playing the old motocross, it was one of the things that I noticed is when your tires are on the ground, you're moving faster. So I could never understand the big why what's with the big fucking jumps. That doesn't do you any goddamn good. I mean, it looks cool. It's cool for the crowd.
It was one of the things Jeremy McGrath was really good at back before in the 2-stroke days. Jeremy understand the physics of pegging the throttle on landing. Everybody for decades in motocross and supercross racing, they would land on the downward slope and then they would hit the throttle. Homie was pegged. He was pegged. So as soon as that back tire hit the downslope of the jump, it was driving his bike forward. And you could see him jump 2 or 3 bike lengths ahead of somebody he's been racing with on one single jump because he'd literally getting a head start on him.
No, I thought I heard those magical Lucky Charms come in the back door.
Hey, Mr. Sean popping in here. Jeremy was the king. He's the king. He's still the king. More supercross wins than anybody else, even the GOAT. Ricky Carmichael, great rider, but he was not skilled. He outworked everybody. He was more physically fit than everybody. He was able to ride an outdoor motocross for the full 45 minutes, kind of like Eli Tomac. Eli Tomac is so far heads and tails above his physical fitness. He doesn't have to be the fastest guy on the track because he knows after 30 minutes, you're going to be gassed. I'm going to still be able to run the same lap times for the last 15 minutes. So I could be a third 30 minutes into it, and I'll be 2 minutes in front of you at the end of the race because I'm not gassed. And the other one is Jet Lawrence. Jet Lawrence is just doing weird shit that people didn't think of. He's like Hayden Deegan. People didn't think of to do it. Like I was watching Johnny Hopper the other day, and he was showing Jet Lawrence going into a corner. It was basically a 90-degree corner where there was a little bit of a berm, but there was braking bumps going into the corner. And right before the braking bumps was like a little, kind of a little speed jump thing, just to slow you down enough. But what he was doing was he was coming off the speed jump and then getting past the braking bumps. While in the air, he was slamming on the rear brake and sitting down on the back seat so that when he hit the corner, he was leaned over already, and the bike would land sort of flat against the berm that had been built up. And then he's gassing the bike right at that point. And when the suspension springs back up, he's already leaning himself up, but he's already driving off the corner. Just bizarre. But that little thing he's doing little things like that in every single corner. And nobody, I mean, it's why the guy won every freaking outdoor race this year. Now, Chase Sexton has won both of the super motocross races so far, but we'll see next year in supercross season how badass Jet Lawrence is, because Eli's coming back next year to run supercross, although I don't know if he's going to be 100%. A Achilles rupture is usually pretty devastating, so we'll see. But Chase Sexton and Jet Lawrence are going to go. They're going to go head to head in Supercross next year, and that's going to be interesting, because I think that's going to be the first time that Jet Lawrence is going to see some like actual competition. And if Eli's healthy, it's going to be a three-way battle. Yeah, Earl,
watch motocross again, huh?
I'm actually more excited watching the 250 races right now than I am watching the 450 races, because I mean, Deegan is, you can tell that he started riding dirt bikes when he was really young, and he's been brought up by a freestyle legend. His dad's a freestyle legend. So his dad is a lunatic. So he raised his son to be a lunatic on a dirt bike. And probably the first time in history that anybody has been raised to ride a dirt bike like that has gone into racing and not just gone into freestyle. He's going into racing basically with no fear. Oh, that's a 130-foot gap. I do that on Sunday afternoons for fun.
Yeah.
And I'll do a backflip while I'm doing that. 130-foot gap, I will do that pegged wide open. Where everybody else who's been racing in Supercross is like, 130-foot gap, that's kind of sketchy. I watched a video of Ken Roxon riding with the freestyle kid, and Ken it was like a freaking 160-foot gap, and this is the biggest jump that Ken Roxon had ever done. And he hit that thing wide open, nailed it, nailed the landing, did all of that, got done, right over it, stopped and whatnot. And he was like, that is the craziest thing I've ever done. That's a championship winning Supercross rider who looks over a freestyle guy like, that's the craziest thing I've ever done on a dirt bike. That's what Hayden Deegan grew up doing, is just crazy shit on a dirt bike. So you throw him on a racetrack and he'd be like, whatever, pussies. If you ever went to a Supercross race when Kevin Windham was racing, when they were doing rider announcements, they would allow you to come out and like ride and like go over a jump. Kevin Windham would go out during practice and he would find a spot on the track where he could get a running start and just freaking launch himself. Literally just launch himself so that he can find someplace to land. So it might be the berm somewhere that he launches off, and then he'll land on the triple. But he would do 140, 150-foot gaps. It was worth getting to the track early just to watch him do that. Everybody else is like, dude, you're insane. You're a freaking crazy person. I don't know what the hell's wrong with you. Hayden Dean does that shit every day for practice. It just, like I said, it's him and Jet Lawrence. I think they're generational talents. They're going to be like James Stewart and Ricky Carmichael and Jeremy McGrath. They only come around every once in a while. And yeah, Hayden's only 17 years old. He's only 17. And he made a legit run at the outdoor motocross championship this year. A legit run at 17. He was kind of a mess in motocross, but that was his first in supercross, but that was his first. Yeah, backflip at 9 years old. I rode dirt bikes forever. I'm an old man. I've never even attempted a backflip ever, because to me, that's just silly. You're silly. There's no reason why you need to do a backflip on a motorcycle ever.
I don't think I've done it. I think I've attempted it on a bicycle. I don't think I've ever attempted it. I can't ride every time I'm on a motorcycle, I'll crash that son of a bitch. You don't want to give me a motorcycle. Give me a motorcycle if you want your insurance to go up.
Yeah, the crap people do on motorcycles now to me, it's insane. I was at the first X Games with the freestyle event. I was there, and
I was watching a motocross video where they were on pavement, like,
yeah,
and the dude came down into the corner with a stoppie, like he was on the front tire when he came down and was passing the guy in first through the corner with his stoppie.
That's Supermoto.
Yeah.
So it's dirt bikes on pavement where they race on a road course like a road bike, but occasionally there's a jump thrown in. It's kind of.
And I'm like, okay, well, obviously this guy knows what the fuck he's doing. Like,
dude, I don't need an eye appointment. Just had one.
You sure you can't see this? Can you see that we're 7 minutes past the hour?
Holy shit, we are. How about that? It is 7:37. Well, that is unfortunately going to bring an end. And you know what? The funny part is now we're up to 10 viewers.
I know. Well,
most of the show we've been struggling along with 4 or 5.
Nobody wants to come
right here at the
and
end,
listen to the show. Everybody wants to come hear us end the show.
We finished strong.
Woo.
But again, always thank you to everybody for coming in and hanging out. We thoroughly enjoy it.
Well,
I'm going to try and do. I was a little bit lax on my note taking this week. I'm going to try and do a little bit better so we have some more shit to talk about next week and more people to talk shit about.
And not just Starfield.
Yeah, I know we freaking killed it at the beginning of the show with talking about Starfield.
All right.
Which, hey, it is what it is.
Whatever.
But,
we'll talk about Starfield.
We always appreciate everybody who comes in and hangs out with us here in our happy little show on Wednesdays where we just ramble on about random shit for 2 hours. But we'll be back next week. Actually, maybe there's a tentative maybe on next Wednesday because I'm going out of town on Monday or Tuesday, and I don't know. It depends on what day. If I go Monday, then I'll be here. If I'm gone Tuesday, I don't know if I'll be back in time to get everything set up. But chances are probably will, because I think our plan is to go on Tuesday, but we're still going to be back early enough in the day. So anywho, we will probably be here next Wednesday.
Maybe.
Thank you all again for hanging out. Appreciate it. Thank you, JB, for hanging in here and co-hosting and
don't pat me on the back too hard, Eric. Come on.
Putting a period at the end of the sentence there.
Right.
But hey, we will see all of you next week, and have yourselves a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend, And yeah, go out and do something fun, or watch something fun, or just be fun. And now the awkward time